Welcome to the Chief Architect Quick Tip. My name is Dan, and today I'll be covering Cactus Stone backlit countertops within Chief Architect Premiere. So let's get started. I've browsed over to the Cactus Stone website here, and you can see if I click on this natural quartz material, this is what it looks like when the light is hitting it from the front. I see some greens, some browns, some white spots, and some tan colors. Now over here we see that the same quartz material being backlit looks a little different. I think it looks pretty cool. The white blotches get sort of bleached out and you can see more detail inside the main colors. And if I go over to Chief Architect 3D Library, our website here, we have the image for Cactus Stone pulled up. And we're going to try and achieve this backlit look with some Cactus Stone materials inside Chief Architect. So I've gone ahead and mocked up this kitchen real quick. And let's move from our plan view to a 3D view by opening this camera. I'm just going to double click on it. So here we have the countertop with the default material on it. And the first thing that I notice is our scene is too bright. I want to turn down the ambient light in this room, so I'm going to go up to 3D and 3D View Defaults, which you can also bring up with the hotkey Control 1, which I do. I love hotkeys and I use them all the time. Just makes my workflow a lot faster. Alright, so under our lighting options here we have Interior Ambient. And this is a slider, but you can also just enter a percentage number in the box to the right. I'm going to drop it all the way down to 4% and hit OK. Alright, that's better, but I still want it to be darker. So what I'm going to do is go back to my plan view and drop a light in my scene to replace the default light Chief Architect is using right now. So 3D, Lighting, Add Lights. And let's just drop it over here in front of our kitchen island. I'm going to right click and click Open Object. In our light specification dialog, let's go to Light Data. And in this panel, I'm going to just change the color to sort of reflect the colors in the materials that I'm going to choose for our countertops. Let's drop the intensity all the way down to 100 lumens or 15 watts and hit OK. Now I'm going to right click on this low intensity light to copy it and paste it in a few places around my plan to highlight some things like the fridge, the back wall, and the dishwasher, so they're not totally lost in the dark. And I'm just hitting the hotkey Control V for paste, and then left clicking on my mouse to paste these lights into my scene. Okay. When I switch back to my camera view, you can see that the scene is even darker now because it's using those low intensity lights that I placed instead of the default light Chief gives us. If I go back to my plan view and hold down Shift to select all my lights and then delete them, back in my camera view you can see the scene is brighter again because it's using this default light. I'm just going to hit Undo, and there's the scene with our 4 new low intensity lights placed. And you can also make your scene much darker by just placing one light and dropping its intensity down too, if you don't want to get this detailed and just get a nice dark scene going on. Alright, that's enough messing with lights. Let's get into some of these beautiful Cactus Stone materials for our countertops. I'm going to go into the marble folder and let's see. I want the white lightning marble material. Let's go ahead and paint it on our countertop. But first I want to switch our material painter from component mode to plan mode, so it will paint this material on everything in our plan using the material that we're replacing. So whatever material that we click on to replace, everything with that material will be replaced in our plan. So you can see the countertops over here and here change as well. Okay, now I only want the countertop on this island in the middle to be backlit though. So let's open the material painter and go to the plan materials panel to see the materials being used in our plan. And alright, white lightning is already selected. That's quite a name, white lightning. But let's hit copy and rename our new copy White Lightning-Backlit. And okay. Whoops, actually we're not done with this. Let's go to the properties panel, and we want to make this material look backlit. So the way we do that is by giving it some emissive properties. Emissive means it has the power to radiate or emit light. So as we crank that up, you can see it starts to glow. And I'll just give it a little bit of transparency too, so you can kind of pick out those darker veins in the material. Let's hit OK. And with the new material selected, we'll hit OK again. And we want to change the material painter back to component mode, so it will only apply this material we've made to the component we click on, instead of every surface in the plan with that material. So now only the island countertop changed. Alright, that makes it really stand out now. Okay, let's find another cool material that is a lot darker, because with a darker material, you'll want to really crank up the emissive slider. Alright, click to paint it on my island, but I want to replace all the countertops in my plan, so I'll change my material painter back to plan mode, and just click on this countertop back here. Now this time I want all of the countertops in my kitchen to be backlit, so instead of making a copy just for the island, I'll just use the Adjust Material Definitions tool and adjust it here. Let's go to the Properties panel and crank that emissive slider all the way up, and I want to make it go to 11, but that won't give us the desired results in this case, so we'll just go to 100%. And give it a little transparency. Okay. Nice. I think I'll change the color of the lights to more of a blue hue. So I'll shift select them all. I'm just holding down shift, and that way I can change the color on all of them at once. And in the light data panel, let's start with this blue and tint it up with some white. And back in my camera view, and now I can see a subtle blue glow on some of the objects around the countertop. Most light sources either sort of have a yellowy orange or bluish glow, depending on if they have a cool or warm temperature. So I like the way that's looking. But I just noticed this seam in the material here. These materials come in large slabs, so you probably would see a seam in real life. But let's just go in the texture panel and shift that texture over about 10 inches to the left. And Chief makes it into inches automatically. Hit OK. And the texture we used for our countertop material shifts over. No more seam. Alright. The last thing I wanted to show you is the bloom feature. It was added in Chief Architect X9, and it's what gives that nice feathered glowing edge on the borders of objects that are emitting light with the emissive property turned up. You can control the bloom in the default settings, found by clicking on this wrench button, and in our camera defaults under General Camera, we have this checkbox here to turn bloom on and off. Note, it didn't turn the bloom off in my active camera view, and that's because bloom also works on a camera-by-camera basis. Because the default was to have bloom turned on when I created this camera, it's still on. If I create a new camera, it will use that default setting and have bloom turned off. So if you want some cameras to use bloom and others to not, you have that option. And you can see if I open my saved camera, here's that control to turn bloom off for this individual camera. That is going to do it for us for making our Cactus Stone countertops have a backlit appearance. Thank you guys for hanging out with me and watching this video. Be sure to check out our website at chiefarchitect.com for additional resources like more videos. We have knowledge base articles, a samples gallery with plans that you can download and poke around in. And you can even download a free trial of our software to check it out for yourself if you're not currently a user. So I hope you guys enjoyed this quick tip and got something out of it. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.